I would call it SGI. I call it SGI. I would hit at Bill, Bosch, or Steve.
Alright, so if we go long, when we come back from lunch, we might go over a few more things with the Twin Start, because I don't want you guys to miss out on the new cabinet. This is going to be new to everyone. And although we've been sitting on them for about 2 months in our office, we only went live less than 2 weeks ago. I was the one who did the very first go live with Go Rush. And you can see by the games, they look like they're very Valley-esque. But it's truly a hybrid of WMS and Valley. Right now it's running the Alpha OS that you see in the Valleys. But the hardware is very, very much WMS. This pillow is just held in by magnets, but it's nice that it pulls out of the way so you can access everything. I'll put the camera on so I can show you guys. One of the key points I want to point out is if you do get one, right next to the printer, there's a test button. And that was the first call I got from Gold Rush. How do we get the test mode? There's only one button in the cabinet, it's right there. But that's where that is. Another big factor is Ethernet port 1 is actually where we plug inside games on the Twin Star cabinet, on the backplate board.
The only one out of everybody.
What?
It's the only one out of everybody.
And it's much like the S32 cabinets, where this is going to be all behind a GAT cover. And you've got USBs, 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 USBs. And you're going to run these USBs and your Cat5 through that GAT cover. And then it's going to get locked in place by the computer. So I'll break out the camera and I'll show you a little more of the cabinet. There's a lot of things on this cabinet that are unique to this style.
I don't know if it's a weak link or not, but I've been in the field where I saw people put pigtails there. They put a Cat6 connection there. They put a female connector, and then they, outside of that GAT cover, and then they ran their cable to where it goes. So they can move that equipment later on, because you can remove a game without an agent present, but you can't install a game and go live with an agent not present. So a lot of folks take their equipment, move it out. Right now they're not allowing any moves, so that's kind of a moot point. But going in the future, I don't know if it's a weak link or not. I don't know how good those connectors are, but it's something to keep in the back of your minds that you can't access that.
This is one of the smaller backplane boards, and again, it's similar to the WMS backplane board, just a little smaller. And again, the computer looks like the 3.2X, but it is the 4.2. It mounts the same way. Power supply, very much like the WMS power supply. But then you've got your light emotive board is very Valley-esque. Your amplifier for your audio is very much like Valley. So it is a mixture of the two brands, and they will be branded SG. A few of you that have been in casinos have seen these. They've got these and the J43s, which are really tall, running games in them already. And
The side of the cabinet does have a Valley serial number, and the computer does have a Valley computer key.
yep, because of that, we insisted that if you had a Valley serial number, we had a Valley CPU lock. So your agent, you'll ask for the Valley CPU lock on these.
It's a Valley.
So,
Made in Valley manufacturing.
we'll go up and then we'll go down. The top monitor is unique, and I'll show you the latching system first because this is also, I was surprised, the second operator received these, could not figure out how to release this top monitor. And there's a really simple latching system. You can see there's even a hole here where it shows a yellow tab right beneath it. And then if you look from the side here, does that show up good on the screen, guys?
Yeah.
It's a magnet up there above that yellow latch. It holds it in place, and it's pulling this latch to release the monitor. Now,
Only holding that latch.
it's just holding it. Now, if I go up with the monitor, and it's a heavy monitor, and then back down, it's gonna pop that latch. And say if I unsuccessfully try and grab my flashlight, and it comes back down, it relocked. It let go of the magnet and it relatched. So whenever you're going to go and pop this monitor, you want to push that towards the magnet, push it away from the hole here. And this is a two-handed deal. These monitors are heavy.
In one motion.
And again, much like this monitor, it's not just up and it's not just out. It's up and out all at the same time, where it will not come out. So it's up and out, and now show the side. There is a bracket in there to catch it on the posts. See that?
And it has a dimple in that bracket to catch it. Like the elbow is in the lock position.
It's just dangling on that top pivot point, but it's not coming off.
Then that inner is in its home position. This thing's heavy. It's probably 40, 50 pounds.
These two monitors are both really heavy. Now this one you can do by yourself. We'll get into that later and maybe after lunch if we don't get to it in time. Very heavy. So, I get it.
You come out or what?
No, I got it. Show them how to, there's a power cable for the monitor, the control cable for the emotive lighting, and then your display port. And then there's one last connector, and it's actually, it's a ground connector with a female spade on the end. That's grounding out the whole cavity. I'll just walk this around both sides.
It's gotta be nuts, it's gotta be.
It's very heavy.
It's big nuts.
Yes.
Pass it around.
Passing it around. No, I'm not passing it. There's the magnet that holds that yellow latch, and then here's the actual post that the latch will grab onto.
Drunk.
Don't find it.
Don't break their
This
hand.
same monitor is up on top, and it's accessed from the back side. So it's a two-man deal to change the top monitor.
Well, you have hardware going up and you have hardware going down. So the guy in the front, remove all the front hardware first, then the guy in the back removes the back from the backside hardware, and the guy in the front's holding the unit.
In the air while the guy's like trying to get the bolts out. Or if you're
Or back
putting it
in.
installed, you're holding it up and you're like shifting it left and right. Get the bolts in, no, go to the left. You're moving it over a little bit. Get the bolts in. My arms are getting tired, get the bolts in, just get one in. So, as we took that thing totally apart when we first saw it about 4 months ago.
We have ladders.
So, I'll show you guys too.
And I'm a firm believer in a ladder.
There's the magnet that I was showing.
We have
and then
bring
there's the
4 foot
post
ladders or
where
at
the
least
latch
2 foot
locks down on.
Every service.
And then again, as soon as you come back down, it's gonna self-latch on that post.
I wasn't gonna say.
And there's the grounding wire, this is the light
Have a long
control
reach,
board that runs the lights.
So we'll be making.
That's why it's so heavy, is because, well, nothing on
I think it's a combination of everything, glass, the thickness of the glass, the monitor, the television itself shouldn't be that heavy. Because LCDs, unless it was like a, which it's not, say like a, old school plasma.
because they were lights in there
But it's
too.
not, it's an
So,
LCD.
so, bezel's all lit up, so it's protecting a lot of
It's
things.
earthy.
That's why there's glass on the front of
See
the
how heavy it is? It's heavier than it looks.
Yeah.
People are like, oh no, it's just a little, no, it's heavy.
No, the only touch screen is the bottom.
And again, this is not interchangeable either. They're never gonna go back to two touchscreens. It's not cost effective. You know, it was nice, sure, for you guys, but they're gonna put the cheaper monitor.
Sigma can buy us another one.
And then you can get that ground wire from right here.
So they're all quick connects. Most of them are latch, except the ground.
As soon as I drop that down, it re-engages the latch. So it won't come up. It's locked. As soon as that came down, it self-latched.
So let me forewarn you and your warehouse workers, when you get 25 of these, everybody lines them up, front to back.
You get 4 of these even.
Right.
They're front heavy.
Huge
They're
front.
front heavy on the base.
So if you hit the back one, all the rest of them are gonna timber. So when we've been delivering them, when we receive them, they come on a pallet, and there's a styrofoam block underneath the
A
front.
big solid styrofoam block.
All of
And-
them.
And that's how we're
When we-
advocating.
When we transport them, we put those styrofoam blocks, we go, front forward, we put styrofoam blocks under front of them, and when we unload the trucks, we give them all the styrofoam blocks, and people go, no, I don't want all that crap around. Well, when you knock down 40 machines all at once, you'll wish,
You knock over 10 of them, like dominoes, that's a expensive set of dominoes.
So I highly suggest, when you store these things, if you're not storing them side by side, even if you are storing them side by side, they can be tipped over. I would put that styrofoam block underneath them.
And if you're gonna mount them in a location, which some people have only that option, they're so tall, and the J40 coming soon is gonna be even taller, it would almost be touching the ceiling tiles, the J43. Some people have a truck, again, that's shorter than I am. You can't put this on the base in the truck.
You can, if you have a big red dolly strapped, leave it on the angle down and strapped to the sidewall on the angle. It will fit in a smaller 14-foot. But you're putting a lot of stress on the back wheel. You're just stressing everything about it.
And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it 100 times in the future. I never endorse moving these things on their back. Hardware falls down onto the backplane board. It filters its way into the computer. You turn the game on, and you just fried the computer and the backplane board, and God knows what.
The bolt pattern is a Bally bolt pattern.
It is
So
an
it
alpha
will match
pattern.
your
So,
Bally bases.
Your Bally or your standard generic bases that accommodate the Bally's, it'll take it. It's the same standard 4-pin bolt pattern. It's very easy to mount. The locks, well, let's go to the bottom first. The bottom door is really simple. I got it right here. It only takes, like we're talking about a clock, going from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. A very small turn to actuate the cable release. Like I'm just, it feels like I'm turning a lock that's locked still, but I'm actually disengaging it. You open it up, and you can see the lock over here runs a cable that comes to the latch. Make that work. Probably gonna put it down there. Oh. There we go. So, there's the lock, and over here's the latch. And so when it's engaged, then turn the key and see how much of a turn it takes to disengage the lock. So it's
Literally,
much.
it's an eighth of a turn.
Yeah.
It literally is turning
It's
it.
not much.
One, if you shine on my key, it's just an eighth of a turn. So people are gonna be cranking this, and it's a right turn. Clyde. Very simple.
So now the valley pattern for the bass, 2 of those bolts are underneath that valley or that bass speaker. So it's just, one's missing here. 2 screws to take out that bass speaker and 1 quick connect audio cable. You pull that bass unit out.
And that's where 2 of the carriage bolts.
2 of the
go
4
under.
carriage bolts are underneath that
Re-
side.
Unplug it. Don't
Yes.
let it hang because you'll be rewiring it because it's not long enough to go to the floor.
No, they're 26 gauge inch, 26 or 24 inch gauge wires. They're real thin. You let it dangle, you're gonna shear those wires right out. So, again, there's your 2.4 CPU. It's nice, it's got some status lights to show you voltages.
Another.
Yep. Another hot swappable fan that tells you right there on it, it's underneath the blue label, but it says, may be removed or inserted in power on.
Not interchangeable with
And it's not the
WMS.
same, it's not the same fan assembly that's in the S32 or the S23. The shiny light, my light, lock pod. Lock pod assembly here. Now, this is my demo cabinet, so the cams aren't hanging here. The cams would be dangling right there where Bobby was just touching on the cable. With the zip tie, you'd have 1 cam to go inside the lock pod assembly and a blank out plate to cover the second hole. And again, I had them ask, how do you get that lock pod assembly out? And it really is easier than it looks. And they made it, I hate to use the word idiot proof, but they made it as idiot proof as they could. So let's see if I can shine on this and you can tell. Next to the screw,
See that lock emblem, like an old padlock? There's 4 of them.
there's 4 of these lock screws, and they're there to say that's where you put your lock. So you unscrew those 4 screws, and the lock pod assembly is going to come down dangling off of the cable that runs this monitor, this latch here. So, yeah, they got
Riser
it already. So, you know what we'll end up doing is, I want to stay on schedule from here on out. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take lunch in a minute.